Okay, this is how we edit tables in Mailchimp. These would all be tables that are copied and pasted from the MLS. Let's say we run a special report in order to get some statistics by area, zip code, price range, something like that. It's always going to produce the same table. It's probably not important to see how to get the tables right now. This is only once they're copied and pasted into a Mailchimp campaign, how we edit them just to get rid of any unnecessary columns and that sort of stuff. And it's editing the HTML in Mailchimp. So go to Mailchimp.com, log in with the generic Boulevard marketing login to Mailchimp, which is aaron@yourblvd.com. And the password is FL0WER. FL0WER. And then once you're in, you just find the campaign that you want to edit. My menu toggle is on right now, but normally campaigns would show up right there at the top. Once you get to campaigns, then you'll want to get into the design mode. So let's find Silent Shore, which is the one that I'm working on right now. It's right here. And we want to get to this design mode. So again, because I'm using a smaller screen, it's all kind of toggled. Normally this would show up two panes. There'd be like one pane right here off to the right-hand side. And then the final product, what it's going to look like would be on the left-hand side. It just happens to take up the whole window this time. So this table right here is what we're editing. And it's going to show up a couple of times in this particular type of campaign. And so basically we're changing any instance of this sort of table, and that's just copied and pasted directly from a search that we would run in the MLS. So to edit, you'll first want to select the right content block. You'll see when I hover over this, then it shows up as its own content block, and then the editor pops up over here. This editor will always look the same whether you're having to make it appear using this toggle or whether it's already showing up on the right-hand side, and it works the same way. So whenever it came time to paste the table, it was pasted directly into here. And this is just sort of the simple editor where you copy and paste text. You can just type freely into this area. But in order to eliminate some of the table, or rather some of the columns from this table, then we're going to have to actually go into the HTML. And that's to go into the source right here. So you'll just click into this. And then you'll want to find the table that you want to edit. There's a couple of different ways you could find it. You could just scroll down until you see the start of it. Obviously, tables are always going to start with an opening table tab. Or you could always do something like control find -41 properties found or 41 properties or something like that. That will take you to the beginning of the table. And then the way table HTML works, then basically every row is going to have one of these TD tags right here. Or rather every column is going to have one of these TD tags. And so what we're trying to do is find the ones that contain what we don't want, and we're just going to delete those from start to finish on that tag. So looking at this table right here, 41 properties found, then we really don't need the sale price column, adjusted sale price to list price percentage, sale price to, I'm not sure what that means, but anyway, we don't need this column either. And really, we don't need this days on the market column either. The difference between days on the market and cumulative days on the market is that this is more or less what consumers see, and it's easy to manipulate those on the MLS so that it looks like something to a home buyer has been on the market less than it actually has been. This is sort of special knowledge that the realtors can see, showing that if something has been pulled off the market and comes back on, exactly how long it's been sitting there. And for our purposes, since this is a form of reporting we do to our sellers to give them a more accurate picture of what's going on in the marketplace, we actually only focus on this. So if we're editing this table, what we want to do is basically you're deleting columns at a time, or really you're kind of deleting cells at a time. And so what we want to get rid of first would be the sale price, right? And so in order to do that, let's just find it on here. Almost. Let's start to just tab up. We want to keep list price, but we don't need this sale price. So we'll go ahead and just highlight that whole row from the beginning of the tag TD all the way to this end tag, /TD. Delete the whole thing. It's not necessary, but it just kind of helps come edit later on if you just make sure everything continues to line up. So make sure that once you delete that TD tag, that little element, then this comes up and lines up exactly with this. But in this case, we're going to end up just deleting this anyway. And as a matter of fact, we can do all of this at the same time. And so get the one after this, delete it. The one after this, all the way to days on the market. And let's get this on its own line. So what that does is just get rid of everything between list price and CDOM that we did not want. And the formatting on the table is going to be a little off until all of these other cells are deleted here. And so what we do is we basically go row by row, and we're going to delete the information we don't want. So if we find this row starting with 43,900, then we see that's where the 0%, all that sort of stuff that we don't need starts to show up. So we can just make our way across that row, deleting all of the information that we don't need. Make that line up. Let's go to the next row, which is the one starting 52 or 523, 427. Start getting everything that we don't need out. Let's find this max one. Delete everything after 645. Normally you'd be able to highlight a lot more. I'm just using a very small screen, and so everything's kind of shrunk down. As a matter of fact, maybe I can zoom out a little bit. That sort of helps. I deleted a little bit too much. I do need to keep that 532. I'm just going to undo that. Just get rid of this extra line here. Okay, now I'm working on the row that starts median. Here it is. I can just get everything right up to 71. And that's basically it. You'll notice that this A41 properties found cell, that's just set to span the length of the table or the width of the table. And so that's going to adjust accordingly. Don't have to do anything there. And then while we're at it, let's go ahead and just format this as currency. Put in a 5, or rather a $sign and a comma. And just go back up and do that with all of these. We're talking price here. So that's everything for that table. And then we would basically do the exact same thing for all of these tables. Click in Mailchimp inside the content block and that'll pull it up. You'll see what you're editing. Go into the source code and then start to edit the table from there. This will be basically the same for anything that's a status OP, option pending, pending status, or pending. However, for the sold, we do want to keep the sale price because that's a useful way to compare exactly how much negotiation took place or whatever. And just because it's available is really the reason we want to keep it. It is also pretty useful. So in that case, let's say we're editing this sold table. We'll want to, in our source code, go all the way down until we find the beginning of that table. And I just scrolled down until I noticed this S1 properties found. I'm going to keep the list price cell. I'm going to keep the sale price cell, but I'm going to delete adjusted sale price, SPLP, etc., all the way down to DOM. Same thing, just go after that down the row. I'm keeping basically the first two TD elements, this one. So then I'm going to pick up from here and delete all the way till what would have been in the DOM column. If you kind of lose track of which row you're working in, just know that every new row is going to start with an opening TR tag. And obviously then that means that you would have to have a closing ending TR tag on the previous row. And so again, now that we know we're working in a new row, we know we need to keep this 44800 right here. Know we need to keep this one and can then move to everything after that and delete. It looks like I'm accidentally dragging here. Keep that 46 and a new row over here. Keeping the first two numbers, deleting everything else. Oh, did I not delete enough? Delete that. And then last row median. delete that. The table's all fine. Go in and add the dollar signs again. I'm not going to do that for everyone. That's pretty easy. There's no reason this is something that couldn't take place as you're deleting the tags. In my opinion, it just is a little easier to go down the line and do one type of editing and then come back and do another type of editing after that. But there's really no reason that can't take place at the same time as deleting the rows or cells you don't need. Mailchimp is saving your work as you go along. You'll see auto saved, and then you just save and close to get out of that. Do that for all the tables, and basically that's it. So that's just a standard HTML table. You can build tables from scratch using HTML, obviously. It just so happens that when you copy and paste one of these from the MLS, you get the HTML with it too, and so you can then go and edit it. That's basically it. And that's it.